Why is PV Genset Controller required to run grid-tied solar inverters with generators? Ever wondered that what if you hook up grid-tied solar inverter on load side of a power system with generators and grid as sources? For all you curious people, by the end of this video, you will be clear of what happens if you include or exclude DG-PV controller from such a power system. Hi, I am Shaf Ali from ICSS Engineering. We specialize in solar SCADA and control systems required for safe and productive integration of grid-tied solar technology in existing power infrastructures of industrial and commercial applications. Grid-tied solar inverters are like a bull waiting eagerly to enter a bullfight and are only waiting for holding gate to open. Let me explain the analogy in detail later in this video. Grid-tied inverters cannot differentiate on their own if the AC power being supplied to them as a reference is being served by generator or grid, as long as following electrical parameters are within acceptable range of the inverter. Number 1 is frequency. Frequency must be between the over and under frequency set points defined within the inverter. Number 2 is voltage. Voltage must be between under voltage and over voltage set points defined within the inverter. Number 3 is that the phase sequence provided to the inverter is appropriate. So literally speaking, solar inverters can electrically synchronize automatically with generators as they do with grid without any controller. There is just this problem that grid-tied inverter is a bull and will do whatever it can with whatever primary source it is working with. As the inverter will complete conducting its grid/DC checks, it will start producing as much AC power from the available DC power and inject into the power system. There are various scenarios where we would want our inverter to produce full power, specific amount of power or no power at all. Here are some scenarios. If grid is available and net meter is installed, that is your respective grid has allowed you to reverse feed into the grid. In such scenario, grid-tied inverter power must be at its full available capacity. Number 2, if grid is available and net meter is not installed yet, that is you would want your inverter to run in self-consumption mode only and not to export. This mode is also known as zero export mode. Your grid-tied inverter must only generate enough power to take up site load and must not feed excessive power back to the grid. So if the load is more than the available AC power provided by the grid-tied inverter, solar production must not be curtailed. If load is less than the available AC power provided by the grid-tied inverter, solar production must be curtailed to stop inverter reverse feeding into the grid. Number 3, if grid is available, net meter is installed, but solar installation is more than the sanctioned power that can be exported to the grid. In such scenario, grid-tied inverter must take up load and only export amount of power that is allowed to feedback by the grid. Number 4, if generator is running, its minimum generator loading set point must always be ensured by controlling generation of grid-tied solar inverter. For a number of generators installed on site, the minimum genset loading set points are usually different. For gas generators and diesel generators, minimum generator loading set point are also different. Underloading generator sets for prolonged runs will negatively affect the health, operation and uptime of generator, while increasing the likelihood of unforeseen incidents and shutdowns. Number 5, if generator is running, on-grid solar inverter is sharing load with the generator and a big load drops. This can lead to reverse power to generator scenario, which may damage generator's alternator or engine. Number 6, in case if generator is running and solar is sharing load with generator, solar injection must be controlled within a limit so that even if solar panels get shaded by cloud, the primary source generator in this case must be able to take up load without tripping the generator. Number 7, if multiple generators are running in parallel, grid-tied solar power must generate per the required balance of plant demand. Number 8, if multiple generators are running in parallel and are also synchronized with grid-tied solar power must generate per the required balance of plant demand. Priority of the sources are defined by control room operators to define the energy mix. Number 9, if multiple primary sources are synchronized with solar, solar generation must be controlled during transition of sources. For all to achieve all this control, that is why we require a brain which tells the inverter or a set of inverters of what to do to keep the system stable and to keep the balance of plant. That is why we require PV Genset Controller or PV Hybrid Controller or Fuel Saving Controller in our applications. We have and will be covering more topics related to PV microgrid design, PV Genset controllers and solar SCADA monitoring. Check out this video's description for the links. You can browse this YouTube channel for PV Genset hybrid projects based on Energy PK PV diesel controller. You can also visit our website www.icssww.com for details. For local and international Energy PK PV diesel controller inquiries, fill in the Google form link provided in the description or contact us through email, call, WhatsApp, email or WeChat. We are glad to offer much required solar operation and maintenance SCADA system called PV SCADA Max. PV SCADA Max is a complete O&M SCADA solution for medium, large or very large scale PV solar integration projects. Salient features of PV SCADA Max are high level of scalability from 100 kilowatt to multiple gigawatts, real-time monitoring of each grid-tied solar inverter and its respective strings, real-time alerts and alarm logs in case of any alarms on inverters, real-time monitoring of energy mix between various sources, for example grid, solar and generators against weather data, transparency of energy generation and consumption reporting, historical trending of parameters, integration of data from third-party SCADA control equipment or process-sensitive instruments, fact-based data for root cause analysis. For local and international Energy PK PV diesel controller inquiries, fill in the Google form link provided in the description or contact us through email, call, WhatsApp, email or WeChat. Thank you for your time. Thank you.